What is up, Glam fam? Welcome back to my channel. I know I've been on a roll and I'm so proud of myself. I'm about to give myself a pat on the back because y'all already know I be BSing with the videos, but I'm here to stay and I always tell y'all that, but it's true. Even if I take a break for a minute, just know I'll be right back. I feel like I need a pillow to hold or something. Does that look stupid? Alright, it just makes me feel more comfortable. Okay, so today's video is going to be an advice video. I asked y'all to send me like DMs through Instagram or messages on Snapchat, just asking me things so I can answer them because I love watching videos like this. I don't know why. Is that weird or not? Because I don't know. I just like hearing different viewpoints on things. So that's what today's video is going to be about. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so there was quite a few messages sent to me. So I'm just going to do like the first 10. And that might even be too much. But let's just see what they say. I had screenshotted them. Here they go. Okay, so first question is from Finessing T _ on Instagram. And it says, so what inspired you to make glosses? How did you find the info to start your business, packaging, etc.? How much can you make off of YouTube alone? So this is like 3 questions. So the first question was, so what inspired you to make glosses? Okay, so I was working for Mac, as y'all know, like that was my first job ever, and I was kind of tired of it, and I'm gonna tell y'all like a mini story time, so y'all getting a story time in this video too. So the Mac I worked at was kind of like shady, like I don't know how to describe it, but it was a lot going on, and I felt very blessed to be 16 interning, 17 interning, and then turning 18. I think I was 17 when I interned actually. So 17, and I got to intern my senior year and then get hired at 18 and have a job that pays $15 an hour. Like that's a blessing. So I was very grateful, but as time went on, like that's when you start seeing people's true colors. And last April, it was prom season. You know, in prom season, you're gonna make a lot of money doing makeup. Like I think I made like $1,000 almost within 2 days. Like prom season is like every makeup artist's like favorite time of the year. Like I don't know what else to say about it. So I was just frustrated because I'm making $166 at this job. We have to work every weekend. We can't take off for prom season. We can barely do makeup at work. So it's just like, and you don't get commission for makeup at work. But here's something I do want to tell y'all. Y'all can tip your Mac artists because it is a service. So if you go and get your makeup done, don't forget to tip them because we do really work hard. And it's always nice to feel more appreciated. And you don't always have to tip big or anything, but a lot of people don't know that you can tip your makeup artist. So yeah, that's just the thing. But anyway, so I was just like, I'm gonna call in on this Saturday because I have a lot of clients. Like I'd rather make $500 in a day than whatever I was making that day. So it was kind of like a no-brainer. So I just called in and said I was sick. I mean, just as anybody else would do, knowing that they could make more money in a day. So I called in and it turned into this whole big deal. Like my coworkers were calling me like, where are you at? Oh, you're sick. Oh, well, guess what? Ooh, I can't say names. So guess what? The manager said that you have to bring in paperwork showing that you went to the doctor, like a sick note and all this stuff, just interrogating me and doing the most. And they've never done that to me before. And the saddest, most shadiest part in that whole little experience was the fact that I can hear my old boss in the background telling them what to say, and these are coming from, and like the artists that were calling me were just like seasonal artists, like they were freelance artists, which means they weren't even permanent. So why are you calling me? I'm a permanent artist, so why are you calling me, interrogating me like you're a higher position? Like, it just doesn't make no sense. And as a manager or a boss, it's your responsibility to call your employees, not to tell other employees to call your employees. Like, that's retarded. Like, that's dumb. So I had just had it like that, topped it off for me. And on that day, I just texted her, and I thought long and hard about it, and I was just like, I'm not happy with what I'm doing. Like, I thought that working at Mac was my dream job, but it really wasn't. Like, it was just more stressful, if anything. Like, I hated it towards the end of my career with them. So I had just texted the boss, and I was like, hey, I want to put in my 2 weeks notice. Like, I don't want to work there anymore. And she was telling me how big of a mistake it was, and how prom season only lasts for so many days, and how I'm going to wish I had my job, and that I'm making a big mistake, and this, and this. And I'm just like, whatever, dude. Like, I'm going to be just fine without you. Like, it's not that big of a deal. And she told me not to even bring my paperwork in, not even to put in my 2 weeks notice. She's like, if you're gonna quit, then don't even worry about coming in, but just know that you can never work at Mac again. And I was just like, I don't care, because you're making my experience like something that I don't want to have to repeat, you know. So I just let that be that, and I started job hunting. I went to the mall that was close to my house. I applied at Aldo, Windsor. I went to like every store in the mall, just applying for places. Like, I went the day that I quit my job, I went and typed up a resume, which I never had to do, so I was so nervous. And I typed up my resume, and I used like a template from somebody else's to see what I needed to do so that it looked good. And I printed off like 20 of them joints, and I was just handing them out, and I was getting calls back. So it wasn't like anything, like I couldn't get another job, you know. And within those first 2-3 days, I got hired at Aldo. Shout out to my girl. She know who she is if she watches this video. She was a manager at Aldo, and she really messed with me. So I got hired at Aldo. In the same week I was supposed to go in for training, I had posted this picture wearing some glitter lip gloss that I had made at home, and it went viral. People were going nuts. So I was like, okay, instead of telling people how I made the gloss, I'm gonna go ahead and start selling them. And little old me, like, I'm not thinking like this is gonna be a big thing or anything like that. I'm thinking maybe I'll sell like 10, and I'm selling them for like $5 or $6. When I first started, they're like $6. And I was like, okay, I'll just sell these, like, whatever, and see how it goes. And I was like, I made a post on Twitter and on Instagram, and I was like, hey everyone, like, I'm selling these glitter lip glosses. They're $6 a piece. I don't have a website right now, but if you want one, you could place your order through direct message. And I put that on Instagram and Twitter. When I tell y'all, my direct messages were booming. Like, I had so many messages. I remember calling my mom, and I was like, Mom, I really need help. And she's like, she thought something was wrong with me. She's like, Shy, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong? And I'm like, Mom, it's not anything bad, because she's at work. And I was like, I had posted this thing saying that I'm selling glitter lip glosses, and I have so many people wanting to order and purchasing for me. Like, everybody was paying through Cash App. So when I tell you, I think within that first day, I had made like $1,000. You know how long it took me to make $1,000 at Mac? A long ass time. And I was just looking like, oh my gosh, like, I don't even think I'm gonna be able to work at Aldo. So I had just told the lady at Aldo, I was like, I don't know what happened, but my business has just taken off, and I really don't think that I'll be able to work here with y'all anymore, because I need to invest my time into my business, you know, just something like that. And ever since then, it's been just doing me right. So really, I'm not gonna say it was an accident that I started my business. And I don't know, I guess what inspired me to to answer the question, what inspired me to make my glosses was I was just hungry, you know, like I didn't want to have to work for nobody else. So when you're in that mode of trying to figure out how you're gonna make it, you're willing to do a lot. Like, I'm not gonna say like you're gonna lower your standards or your morals or anything, but if you're hungry, you're gonna figure out how to eat, you know. So that's what inspired me to start making the glosses. So sorry if I just kind of went on a tangent or a rant or whatever, but I just had to give y'all like a background story. Okay, how did you find the info to start your business? I literally found everything myself. Like, I don't know, you just gotta do your research. I can't really sit here and tell y'all like where to go to get this, and this. Like, no, like I just did my research, you know. So what's right for me might not be right for you, if that makes sense. And I do want to do like a marketing class and a, you know, one-on-one session with people on how to do stuff. So I will probably be looking into that in the future, just to help y'all out some more and give y'all some more like details about things that you need to know as far as like vendors and marketing, things like that. So how much can you make off of YouTube alone? You can make a lot of money off of YouTube. So I got my first YouTube check last week and I made a lot of money. Like, I'm not one to really I don't want to just throw all my stuff out there like that, because it was already like weird for me to tell y'all how much I made last month just off my lip glosses. So I'm not really one to do that. But when I get more comfortable, I will share a little bit more. Once I meet my goals, I'll share more about how much I make and things like that. All right, so this is the next question is from Amber Fior on Instagram, and her question says, as a 19-year-old myself, I'm also interested in the fashion industry and creating a business. So how did you manage to get started, and how much did you invest into your company when you first launched it? Lastly, do you think it's important to have many Instagram followers in order for your business to be a success? Thank you for your time, love. Okay, so the first question says, so how did you manage to get started, and how much did you invest into your own company when you first launched it? So I already told y'all how I got started with that story time or whatever. So how much did you invest into your company when you first launched it? I had $100 and that was it. Like, had $100, made a few glosses, sold them. I don't even know, like I made 10 times of what I invested into my business. And that doesn't happen for everybody, but just because it doesn't cost a lot to make glosses, I made a big profit back, if that makes sense. So I started with $100, and anyone can literally start with $100. You could buy $100 worth of lashes, $100 worth of bundles. You could buy $100 worth of whatever you want to do, like. But once you start selling, you got to make sure that you're investing whatever you made back into your business until you're able to make a profit to just spend on yourself. And that's one thing I said in my business advice video or business tips video. Like, you got to be smart with your money. So started with $100. And her last question was, do you think it's important to have many Instagram followers in order for your business to be a success? I wouldn't say that it's important, but it does help out. So I know a few companies who make tons of money and they don't really have a lot of followers. And I feel like it's about kind of who you know in that sense. So if you're not popping on the gram, popping on Twitter, popping on whatever, if you know people in real life, word of mouth is the best way to spread your business. People will order from your website people will order from you if a friend of a friend is recommending it, you know. So I definitely think that word of mouth is how you keep your business alive. So you don't have to have a lot of followers in order to have a successful business, but it does help. When I started out, I think I had like 21,000 followers on Instagram, and it's been 10 months, since I launched, yeah, 10 months, or this will make, wait, February, March, yeah. So 10 months since I started my business, and I had 21,000 followers when I started, and now I have like 82,000. So as long as you stay consistent, your follower count will go up because people are gonna like what you're doing. So you gotta just be consistent. So that's that for that question. And the next question is from Christine Sierra, I think that's what it is. And it says, "Hi Cheyenne, I've been thinking of opening a small business, but I have no idea where to start. I'm thinking of venturing more on the makeup side because it may work out more cheaper than investing on hair. How did you plan about, How did you plan about setting up your business? Because I'm really lost. I really want to do something to empower myself. Any advice would be greatly accepted. Thanks." Okay, so she said she wants to venture out more on the makeup side because it'd be cheaper than investing in hair. And how did I go about setting up my business? So I already kind of told y'all how I went about setting up my business. I kind of just did it. And if you've watched my business advice or tips video, the first thing that I said is you have to do it now. Like, you can't keep making excuses. The best thing to do when starting a business is to take a risk. Don't worry about if it's going to be successful within the first week. Worry about, is it going to be successful long term? How can I get it successful throughout this journey? Like, everybody's journey is different, and I just don't want y'all to give up because you feel defeated, because I've had plenty times like that, and then I just come back 10 times harder. So definitely just when you're going about starting a business, start now, don't procrastinate, and don't get discouraged. And then it says, I really want to do something to empower myself. Yeah, and then any advice would be greatly accepted. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that, girl. Like, just start now. Nothing's more empowering than knowing that you started something and to watch it grow. Like, it really does build your confidence, and it does make you feel like you can do anything. So that's my advice for that. Okay, and then I have one from Sydney Brown, and she said, "I own a small business called sidscollection.com. I am also in college. What advice do you have for me to make sure I balance my time between running a business and school?" Okay, so I don't know if I'm the best person to be giving advice about this topic, because I honestly want to drop out of school. In this day and age, you don't really need school to be successful. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go to school, because everybody's different, but for me, it's very overwhelming. I take 2 online classes and I take 2 classes on campus, and even with the 2 online classes, I feel like I'm doing more work than if I would just go to campus. So it's just really hard to keep up with everything, and it does get a little bit frustrating. But one thing that I did just this past week is I got a big calendar from Target. It was like $3. I hung it on the wall and I wrote out my whole schedule for this month. So writing out my schedule so I can physically see it helps me out a lot, so I can see what days I have available to work on orders, what days I need to do homework, when is this due, when is that due, and I feel like that does help. And I always give myself like a day off so I don't have to stress, and sometimes you just need that like mental break from everything. So I would definitely say, when trying to balance out school and running a business, write down your schedule and know your limits. Don't ever stress yourself out, because it can be a lot. It's very overwhelming and you can get a lot of anxiety, but you know your limits. So that's what I would say. Just write it out on a calendar. That always works for me. All right. And then Native Beauty Official says, this is on Instagram, they said, "What did you do to go viral?" Really, I don't know how to answer that, because I just be posting stuff, and if it goes viral, it goes viral. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. But you just got to be consistent and just post. Like, that's literally all I can say about that. You just have to post what you want to put out there, and if people like it, then they like it, and if they don't, they might like the next thing. So you just got to keep on posting. All right, and then we're gonna go to the Snapchat ones. I have a few questions left. I'm running out of breath. Y'all know I like to talk fast and say like 5 words at one time, so don't mind me. All right, and I'm not gonna say this person's name on this because this is a kind of personal question. And she says, hey Glizzy, hey Glizzy, big fan. So I've been knowing my boyfriend for about 3 years, since high school, and we just started dating a year ago. I reached out because his mom passed away and we reconnected from there. So he has never had a stable home, and it affects how he treats me, meaning he doesn't do what men are supposed to do and calls me too sensitive. I don't know what to do. Should I break it off or try to fix it? Oh crap. Alright, so my camera got overheated and it cut off, so I'm gonna start with this question again. Okay, so this question, I kind of have a friend who has a similar situation going on, and she has to deal with some of the same stuff, or the same things. So my advice to you is, okay, number one, do you really love this man? Like, does he treat you right? I know he may call you sensitive, but maybe he's just being sensitive. So other than that, does he treat you right? Like, take care of you? If you go out, is he paying for your food? Is he holding doors open? Like, does he make you feel special? Or does he make you feel like you're just in his way? You know, so if he makes you feel like you're just in his way, I would say break it off, just because, like, there's so many other people in this world, and I feel like sometimes as women, we kind of we get used to having someone around, that one person around, and that could be really damaging for us, and you don't want to get caught in a cycle like that. Being that his mom passed away, like you said, it does affect how he was raised, and you kind of have to be understanding, but to an extent. Don't ever let anybody diminish your worth, if that makes sense. So if y'all been dating for a year and you're having to ask this question, I feel like it's one of those situations where maybe you should sit down and talk to him and be like, look, I'm tired of you calling me too sensitive. I don't think that's cool. Either you want to be with me or you don't. And I know this is going to sound really harsh, but my friend's boyfriend always blames it on his mom passing away, which is a very, very, like, tragic thing. And I would be devastated, like, if I was in that position. But you can't go back and blame everything on that situation. Like, that cannot be your reason for why you're being rude to me. Like, you have to be willing to grow, you know? So I would just ask him, like, what's really good? Like, do you want to be with me? Are you gonna work it out or not? Because I don't have time for this. I know my worth, and I'm worth much more than always being told that I'm too sensitive. Like, of course I have feelings. You're my boyfriend, so I'm gonna feel some type of way when you're doing something wrong, you know? So just talk to him, and if y'all don't see eye to eye, that's your sign right there. Like, you don't need to be with him, you know? Never, like I said, never let anybody diminish your worth. So that's my answer to that question. And Glam fam, if y'all want to go ahead and comment down below, like, your advice to these situations, definitely do that, because my perspective could be way different from somebody else's perspective, you know? All right, so the next question is from Raven Simone. Hey Raven, and it says, I'm new to YouTube, and I was wondering, how do you balance YouTube and school, and how long did it take you to get where you are on YouTube now? Okay, so for the first question, balancing YouTube and school is kind of like how I balance my business in school. I just get a calendar, write everything down, and the days that I have open, I really just try to sit down and record and work on my business stuff and etc. But with YouTube in school, I like to pre-record so that throughout the week I can drop videos. So today I'm gonna record 2 videos, and I have another video that I recorded this weekend, so that's 3 videos. So I kind of just like to pre-record everything so that I have content, so that if there's a busy week, I have videos that I can go ahead and post and just stay consistent with it. And then the second question was, and how long did it take you to get where you are on YouTube now? So I started YouTube back when I was like in middle school, but I was never consistent, and it was always one of those things where like I wasn't satisfied with my camera quality, or I didn't know what to edit on, or I just wasn't invested, you know. And when you're in middle school and high school, it's kind of like a challenging time for you, so I wasn't really able to take it seriously until I got into college and had all this free time on my hands. So I would say it took like a few years to like really get it going, but I really didn't start taking it seriously until last summer, so the summer of 2017. And I don't know, one day I was just watching YouTube videos and I was like, there's really no excuse for me not to be making videos. Like, if I don't like my camera quality with my actual camera, why can't I just use my iPhone? Like, you pay so much for this phone and it's supposed to have one of the best cameras, so why not use it? So I just started recording. I recorded at my old apartment one day and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna record a makeup tutorial. This is how I'm gonna set it up. This is how I'm gonna do it, and there's no excuses. So you just kind of have to hold yourself accountable and just be consistent. So that whole summer I was like consistently posting Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and my subscribers started to grow a lot. Like, I had maybe 1,500 subscribers at the beginning of summer, and then at the end of summer I probably had like maybe 5,000, 7,000, and it just kept going up. And so now I'm at like almost 15,000. And I don't know, lately like my videos have been really doing well, so I've been getting a lot of subscribers, and I think that's just from posting consistently. Like, it's gonna take some time, so don't give up. It might take a few years, but the more consistent you are and the more frequently that you post, the faster you're gonna grow. And that's even with social media too. Like, always post everything on like your Instagram and your Twitter and your Snapchat, so people know like, hey, I'm actually doing this. Y'all should be paying attention to me because I'm the next big thing. So my advice to you is to just be consistent, and you're definitely gonna grow if you're consistent. All right, I already answered this question. So somebody said, who made this wig? I'm actually gonna do a whole video on this wig. It's a 360 wig from Wow African.